Hello friends, it's the Stitches. Today's video is more of a rant than anything else, but I wanted to give a response to one of the comments that I see regularly, not only on my channel, but basically every sustainable YouTuber's channel, and that is, I'd love to start thrifting, but I don't have any good thrift stores near me. And like, I see this not even just on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, in real life. Everybody's like, oh yes, I love the idea of thrifting, but I don't have any good stores near me. And I just can't help but think to myself, no shit, all thrift stores are bad. There's no such thing as a good thrift store. You just kind of have to dig. Every thrift store is 90% garbage. It's practically a law of physics. All thrift stores are terrible and bad, and most of the time you won't find anything. And that's just normal. That's what all of us are dealing with, and that's what all of us are feeling all the time. So how do so many of us find such great stuff? You know, you look on YouTube and it's like a girl in LA goes to a thrift store and she comes back with 50 pairs of Levi 501s. And I think a good thing to remember is that a lot of times when you see thrift hauls on YouTube, it's usually a collection of multiple different trips, multiple different stores, multiple different days kind of combined into one. Like, some of my thrift hauls are an accumulation of 6 months worth of thrifting, and it's kind of like smaller than what I would consider an average size clothing haul on YouTube would be. Don't expect to go in one try in one store and come back with like 5 bags of stuff, because that usually doesn't happen. And again, don't be afraid to dig. If your thrift store really is bad, then you're probably actually going to have to flip through every single rack. Flip through everything. You don't have to pull out every single piece, but a lot of times the best gems are hidden in between the old grandpa sweaters. And look in at every section. Don't be limited by whatever gender the rack says that it's for. Honestly, a lot of times the shop staff can't even tell the difference between what clothing is made for a female body and what clothing is made for a male body, because most of it's made out of knit anyway and has basically the same shape. I see women's clothing in the men's section all the time. I see men's clothing in the women's section all the time. So like, leave your hang-ups about gender at the door. Don't be afraid to look in every section, even the kids section. Like, you never know. It's also just a really good idea to know what you're looking for. And I know I've said that a million times before, but like, seriously, have an idea of your aesthetic, have an idea of what colors and shapes you like to wear, and then if you see it in the thrift store, try it on. Try on everything that has those colors and shapes. And I mean that, literally try on anything that even remotely resembles your aesthetic, because you never know what a clothing item is going to look like on you just based on how it looks on the rack. Like, there's reasons store mannequins exist. You can't really see how a piece shines and how it fails until you actually get it on your body. So don't be afraid to really take your time and try things on if there is a fitting room. And don't be afraid to fiddle with something after buying it either, you know. Darn up some holes, change out the buttons, sew on some patches, or lace, or ruffles, you know. You can always make minor adjustments to things if maybe a hem is a little bit too long, or a sleeve can just be taken off if the sleeves are ugly, you know, just take them off. A plain basic that you find at the thrift store can easily become any manner of different items if you just believe in yourself. Why buy a $30 crop top from H&M when thrift stores and scissors both exist? Basically, what I'm saying here is, don't get discouraged about thrifting if you have a few trips where you don't find anything. Don't be worried if you have trouble finding the cool stuff, because honestly, we all have trouble finding the cool stuff. You guys have seen every single piece of clothing that I've purchased this year. You have seen all of the cool items that I have found, and honestly, it hasn't been that many. I feel like I've been blessed on Depop a few times, but other than that, like, I definitely haven't been putting out huge monster hauls. And it definitely also helps that I have the free time to go thrifting every other week, so whenever new clothing shows up, I'm usually gonna see it within a few days of it being new in the store. The cool stuff isn't actually as common or even as cheap as you would think it is. The really cool stuff is usually in antique stores and definitely not for the low price of $5, if you know what I'm saying. Just keep trying, keep going, and save your money for when you do find those really awesome pieces that really work for you. And eventually, over time, you will build up your wardrobe. A lot of the people who dress alternatively and actually do it well have been buying alternative clothing for years and years and years before they get to a point where they feel comfortable with it. 1 or 2 purchases a month can add up faster than you think. And if you just keep working at it and keep building, even if it's incredibly slow, eventually you will have all of the outfits of your dreams. And with that, I will end this video. I hope everybody has a good day. I hope everybody goes thrifting and tries to find something cool, even though I know you probably won't find anything that cool. And I will see you all next time. Bye!